I think that was about a minute. I stood up to get a drink, and then I realized I still had plenty right at my side. So I just sat back down. Got ready to play some Isaac. So I've been grinding out Arachna. I keep getting deep into the game before my power simply just craps out, and I can't really go any further. So we still have to get the Lamb, and the real final bosses, Mega Satan, Delirium, the new bosses added in Repentance, the real, like, super late game stuff. Also Hush. Hush has unlockables waiting for us, because this is a fully featured character. Also, Greed Mode must fall at some point. I assume Greed Mode also has unlockables here for Arachna. Greed Mode is hard to get a run off the ground for any character, much less Arachna, who's kind of a weak character in the best of times. Sort of a consistent character. Our starting items are very strong, and they scale very quickly with level ups, such that we get, like, exponential benefits from stat boosting items. But anything that doesn't boost stats is kind of useless for us. But then we also need things that will significantly increase the efficacy of our tears, which are naturally poisonous, but otherwise pretty weak. 2.8 is an exceptionally low base damage for a character in this game. Even 3.5 is considered kind of weak, even though that's the starting point for Isaac and most of the other base characters. Still better than Tainted Arachna, who starts out with 1.0 damage, but Tainted Arachna just goes completely out of control if you get even the slightest decent upgrade on your hands. By the way, Luckfoot is very, very good now. In the original Binding of Isaac, it was fantastic, the Flash game. Cain started with it and was the best character in the entire game because of that. Then they nerfed it and made Cain completely useless in Rebirth. And then finally Repentance decided, oh wait, we should make this into an item again. Now Luckfoot turns all of our pills into the positive variant. So any pills we get are going to permanently increase something about our character. Or at the very least make one room much easier to clear. Given my luck, it'll probably just be the latter. There. The web wasn't actually affecting him, but he just stood there on the web anyway. Adding quite a bit of luck. Luckfoot and Magic Scab. Both worth +1 luck. It's my lucky day to not have anything that actually benefits from luck. Yeah, we can see my damage is miserable, and my spool doesn't work on bosses, so doesn't help me during boss fights, including mini-bosses like the 7 Deadly Sins. And it won't turn little spiders into cocoons. Most large spider variants will turn into cocoons, I've noticed. For now, we're stuck with the enemies we get. That guy will turn into a cocoon if I can get him killed on a web, like that. Cost me one of my hearts, though. What's in here? A replacement key. Chest paid for itself, and that was about it. And I whiffed my spool. That is gonna give us a little bit of extra damage. Kind of miserable. We get our damage way, way, way up. It'll be great. But that'll be a great circumstance, even without this item. 3 free hearts. That'll actually sustain us for a couple of floors, unless we get a good devil deal. And it'll give us one of those for free. Speaking of free, crawl space with no passive item inside. Just some bombs and some keys. So I'm well equipped for the rest of the run. I just need weapons. Arm me. The web covers a much larger area than it appears on screen. Makes it a lot easier to actually get some cocoons going. It's sized pretty perfectly, actually, for balance sake. It covers like a quarter of a room if you land it in exactly the right spot, which requires you to hit an enemy dead on to do that. So it takes a decent amount of skill to use it, and it is pretty effective when you do use it. It's a good all-around item. It should appear on other characters as well, like in random pools. I've seen it in the shop, so it appears to be part of that pool. Not getting any poison shots. There we go. Speak of the devil. I always call them poison shots, but they could be disease shots, they could be venom shots in this case. The item, the virus, calls it poison touch, so officially speaking, it is poison. I got a ton of soul hearts. What do you got for me, devil? Angel rooms is the devil's deal. So the devil wants me to go to heaven. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Satan is sick of me. Sending me up the other way. Yeah, if you miss your spool, you're probably just gonna waste it. But it recharges very quickly. So you can miss it again. Got 10 cents there, that's always nice. These maggots will also turn into cocoons if they die in the right spot, like so. It's much riskier to get cocoons as the tainted variant of this character, but like sort of easier. You're probably going to take damage in the trade, but you're going to get a lot of cocoons, and that's why the character becomes so powerful so quickly. Way more spiders following her around. You hit the cap pretty quickly, because there is a cap on the number of spider pets you can have. Possibly as like a game, like keeping it from crashing feature. But given how simple this game is, probably not. It's probably just a balance thing. But there would have to be an upper limit, even as simple as this game is, on the number of moving parts they can keep in memory at any given time. So might as well make it a number that also keeps the game sort of balanced. I can go in the curse room. That's an interesting item. The Soul of Eve. That'll give me a free win in any room. Which includes, like, the boss rush or any of the final bosses. Soul of Eve can be very, very powerful. I'm probably just going to blow it at the end of this floor to kill the boss. I want to carry it with me all the way through to the end of the game. That would be a bit tedious. There's always the chance I'm just going to use it accidentally instead of my spool. Sometimes these guys, I think they're called fatties, but they will spawn a cocoon when you blow their head off, and then again when you blow their torso off. A single one can spawn multiple cocoons, sometimes. I've seen that in the past, at least. Never found the treasure. I think I want the treasure. It's probably not going to be anything good, but it always could be. That's a gamble I have to take. And now the fingers do it in all the work. And it's not even very good. Little work is being done. Is being done by the finger. Inside the cocoon, that's where the worm spawned. What we got? Ace of Spades. I was hoping for an ace card, so that I could do that.
Ace of Spades.
Thank you, narrator. You show up once every hour to tell me what I already knew. Glad that guy got a paycheck. It might be the guy who did the Warp Zone sound clip from Super Meat Boy. And I only think that because I have horse pills unlocked, and when you use a horse pill, he screams the name of the pill at maximum volume, and it sounds like the way the guy screams Warp Zone in Super Meat Boy. So Edmund may have just been doing that guy a favor by incorporating those voice clips in the game. And then it finally paid off with the inclusion of horse pills. Years and years later. Now we just have, like, guaranteed poison shots, rather than extremely sporadic poison shots. And a rusted key for slightly more key drops. This slightly increases our damage per second. Very, very slightly. This boss is so easy, I'm not even gonna blow Soul of Eve on it. Cocoons won't spawn in a boss room ever. So it will slow down the maggots, but it won't make any new spider friends for me. Unfortunately. Still have decent health. Damage still miserable. But we have the potential to pop off at any time. One decent item, and this run is victorious. The fact that we have duality is actually very, very potentially good, because it could guarantee us the Angel Room key. However, I lost it. I died. But I kept Scorpio somehow. I am officially a Scorpio. Not really. But the game says otherwise. Arachna is officially a Scorpio. Spiders tried to absorb my spool, but I was still able to make a cocoon. Poison shots are going to make it way easier to make cocoons. I just need to land a spool on somebody. And then hit him with a poison shot. The spool itself does some damage. Not very much, though. But it gets them into kill range from the poison. So most of the time, they're going to turn into cocoons now. So the first few floors are going to actually be pretty easy. Scorpio is always one of my favorite items. Scorpio, the common cold. Anything that gives you an increased chance to do poison shots. For being low tier items, they can add a considerable amount of damage to the amount you deal overall. I hate this ghost, because that happens. Instantaneous shots. In addition to brimstones. Brimstones are actually quite harmless. Although it is possible for him to pin you against a wall, make it impossible to escape the brimstones. Doesn't happen very often. As long as you stay towards the middle of the room, it won't happen ever. That's a slightly better trinket. I believe that's a Jacob and Eshua unlock, so you may never have seen it. Because Jacob and Eshua are extremely unpopular. But this trinket will sporadically clone one of my, like, follower minions. But since I don't have any followers, it will either spawn a Sister Maggie or a Brother Bobby in random rooms. Like, there's a percentage chance every time I enter a room that one of them will spawn and help me out. Both of which are completely useless. But my damage output is so low that even completely useless is something. A tiny little boost of damage. It's a considerable percentage of my overall damage. Egg sacs also turn into cocoons, which is pretty funny. Probably shouldn't work that way, but it does. It makes Arachna much, much better. Can I find a secret room here? That would be nice. Hell yes. Usually the ideal place for a secret room to be is the last place it ever will be. So even though that was a valid and, you know, expected place based on the random level generation for that room to be, usually I just get really unlucky and it's hidden in a corner between two rooms somehow. I hate that that's possible for a secret room to spawn on a corner instead of in a, like, U shape. Shouldn't be possible. Seems like a glitch almost. Happens to me all the time. Even when there is a U shape for the secret room to go to. Oh, my twins turned into one of my extra flies there. Now that I have a follower. I can enter the shop. I shouldn't, but yeah, I obviously shouldn't have, because it's terrible. Just a waste of a key. And my follower is very distant from my body, so that actually made it very easy to use it against the boss. I have a lot of HP again. Let's make a devil deal. This one's fine. Now enemies can't get close to me, for I'm too scary. I think the mated fly pairs will become cocoons when the pair splits, even though neither of them died. It's just a high enough tier enemy to spawn cocoons. I missed my chance to check, though. I'll probably see more of them. I really hope I don't have a run where, like, these orbital flies are doing all the work. Because these orbital flies are not very strong. That would be a rough run. But I haven't hit enough disasters to justify a full reset of the run. So I'm not going to do that yet. Not unless something horrible happens or I just outright die. The latter is more likely. Probably a secret room here. Nope. Worth a shot. I've got the bombs to spare. Rude. Couldn't do much of anything based on where that thing spawned. These guys can't hurt me. Oh, they can, if they start their charge outside of the range of where my spookiness reaches. Is there any way to reach that key? Yes, but it's very costly. Would cost me 2 entire hearts. Probably not worth it. So we'll keep digging for an easier key. There's a replacement heart. Little spiders. I almost feel like this character should start with a bursting sack effect, where spiders will never harm her. Seems thematically appropriate, but that is a little overpowered. There's 2 more keys, so now I can open the shop and the treasure room. Couldn't ask for much more than that. And if the shop has nothing, I can give it to a beggar. But the shop sort of has a little bit. I'll buy that present too, if that turns into a item that it didn't turn into. Getting 1 penny should be doable, though. Shouldn't it? Present's probably going to turn out to be something terrible anyway. But I must know. Gonna do everything I can to try and save this run. Your first, like, 5 floors, you're never gonna get a good run going. Not at this point in the game. Very, very rarely you'll get Polyphemus on one of the early floors, and that's about the best you can hope for. The pool in the secret room has the best possible items right now. Nothing special, though. Book of Secrets. That is not going to save this run, not by a long shot. So we march on, continue doing our grim duty. Spookiness is saving me from minions, not the boss itself. So unfortunately, I am relying on these terrible orbitals. And the fact that I deal poison damage. It ain't much. That's all I got. You play the hand you're dealt. Edmund was once on a podcast talking about how, like, you were meant to just play the hand you're dealt when you play this game. That's an excellent item. This makes this run way, way better. Thankfully. Pound of Flesh, not so much. But Edmund was on a podcast. And he said, like, what do you do if you get a lemon mishap on your first floor, and that's all you have to work with for a while? You just make it work. Like, it's part of the design. That's intended to be a functional item, even though it's a pretty bad item. And then after having said that on that podcast, he went on to make a challenge based around lemon mishap to teach people that it's not actually that bad. And you can still get a viable run going, even if you have that item. It's not really true anymore. The game has become so difficult. If you don't get, like, a fantastic item by, say, like, the depths, like floor 1 of the depths, you're done. Your run's over. You can continue trying to scrape by, but you're just going to be miserable, and then you're going to die on, like, the mom boss fight, if you're lucky to even make it that far. It's pretty rough. The game has changed so much since Afterbirth and Afterbirth Plus, and especially Repentance. Repentance was a gigantic change to the fundamental design nature of the game in a lot of very strange ways. That's lucky. That item is not very useful for us, or anybody besides Tainted Azazel. So I don't know why I unlocked it, but that's a good item. We still have miserable damage, but all of our other stats are looking quite good. That's not going to help us with damage. Will make for a nice long series of boss fights, though. So we're going to be here a while. This is like phase 2 of the Ragman. And the Ragman used to be my least favorite floor 1 boss. Now it is definitely that ghost. Here's the upgraded version of Pin. And unlike Pin, it's actually kind of dangerous. The only unique boss to the caves that I can think of is Peep. And Peep might be a floor 1 boss now that I'm thinking about it. Also, even though it's spelled Peep, it's supposed to be pronounced Peepy, because he sprays piss all over the place. And it's that kind of game. It gets to be that kind of game, because there weren't very many of that kind of game in existence when it came out. It was kind of grandfathered in. It's still relatively uncommon to see a game this gross. Outside of, like, Newgrounds, which is the DNA that they're working with here, which led to this game. At least I barely lost any bombs, getting the 1 or 2 coins I got there. There's a bunch more coins. Now to spend them. If there's anything good in the shop. There's probably just going to be a greed in there. No change to damage. The one thing I needed. Technically, some change to damage because my shot speed went way up. No greed. That's better than I expected, at least. Blow that up for 2 cents, apparently. I thought it would increase my chance of getting to the Devil Room. Turns out not to be the case. This does nothing for me because I have permanent flight. So, I'll go grab this borderline useless trinket. I don't want to waste my web heart. Which is exactly what would happen if I went into the curse room. So I can get in for free, but I had to spend the heart to get out. I'll see if there's a devil deal, and then maybe if there is, spend the web heart there. Web heart's gone. Never mind. Right at the exact second that invincibility procced from Empty Vessel. Classic. Freaky. And, oh. Instant Devil Room. So the crown does nothing, the book is bad. Cambion Conception. I've always called it Cambrian Conception. Guess I was thinking of Coheed and Cambria all these years. What a shame. That band has cursed my brain forever. There's no escape. Listen to one of their songs. Might as well call it quits, because your life is over.
Tears up.
Never do that to yourself. If I can impart one bit of wisdom. Okay. This room's a lot easier when you can fly. And nearly impossible when you can't fly. So now I'm going back to the Book of Secrets. Because the smelter probably won't do me any good ever again. And if it would have done me any good, I will be filled with regrets. Might as well take this, even though it does nothing. Although I might be thinking of the Callus, not the Blister. I might not know what the Blister does. I know there's one trinket that looks like this, which makes it so you don't take damage if you step on spikes. So it's a pretty good item. But I can't step on spikes because I fly. Oh, Judgment. Didn't mean to use it, but that's fine. I was just gonna blow it up anyway. Should have done that on the next floor, because I've already been to the Devil Room on this floor. Already got everything I need from it. And I would have done it on the next floor if I hadn't accidentally used that tarot card. Just use my temporary invincibility. Get the flies to kill the boss. Okay, Book of Secrets paid off again. What did I expect? I'm, as usual, desperate for damage. This happens way more often on stream, I'm afraid. That I just cannot get a damage up for the life of me. When I play normally, rarely find myself this completely just useless and impotent. But here we go. No damage slog continues. If I could afford to take damage myself, my Cambion Conception would proc. But I don't have enough hearts to do that intentionally. And it is happening unintentionally. Cost me a web heart. No devil deal at the end of this floor. Unless we luck out. A bunch of new items. High Priestess. That'll kill the boss for free at least. Let the poison do all the damage. Oh, I'm invincible. There. Now I know the full floor layout. Except for where the secret rooms are. I think it's possible for the Book of Secrets to give you information about the floor that you already have from a previous use of the Book of Secrets. So that you use the book and nothing happens at all. Because it already did that. Pretty sure I've seen that before. Maybe it's been patched out. Maybe I'm just getting lucky so far. Okay. Mystery item. Now I hope I don't get a devil room here. That is an excellent combo, actually. With a black hole, I can stick everybody in one spot, and then I can put a spool on them, and then they all turn into cocoons. Potentially powerful stuff. Enemies now have too much HP for me to kill any of them on a web. My damage is so low, they're always going to escape the web before they die. That's right, I have a free kill on the boss. I don't need to go and grind up another point in the black hole. I did not get a devil room, as desired. Next floor I will have a 100% chance to get the devil room. Gonna leave the Book of Secrets here. Black hole just combos too well with the spool. Might actually carry me through every fourth room of the game. Unless I miss with the spool completely. Oh well. Free room anyway. So yeah, look at this. I just can't harm anybody. Even with direct hits, no damage is being done. The spool itself outdamages all my tiers. And the spool itself does not do very much damage. There we go, that's a slightly better item. Better than nothing. Even there, by a very small margin. Tiny little bit of extra health. I'm still not conceiving of any way I can get more damage. The frost spiders are very cool and useful. If not for the fact that they inherently make it more difficult to get more frost spiders, they would be the best in the world. Okay. One assumes all these spider variants will be unlocked if I beat Mega Satan as Tainted Arachna. That might be how this works. I haven't looked it up. I'm sure there's a spoiler out there somewhere. But for now, I'm just trying to see what happens. Now, I've had some fantastic runs with Tainted Arachna. So getting to Mega Satan might actually be very easy. I just haven't done it yet. I've only done a handful of runs as Tainted Arachna. And they've all been hugely successful. Except for the one that I streamed. That one was a catastrophe. Of course. That is the way it goes when I turn on the stream. Doom follows. That's right, I'm streaming Doom. Tune in. Never. For that. Range up. Do I still have the luck foot or something? All my pills are weirdly good. He did not get pulled into the black hole, so I couldn't spool him. These meat guys don't turn into cocoons, even if they die on the web. Free web heart. It makes a spidery sound effect when you pick up a web heart, which is a nice little touch. Sound design is always underrated in video games. I appreciate it when it works. I feel like the composer for Isaac Rebirth did a lot of the sound design as well. Which is often the case. Like, Akira Yamaoka did a ton of the sound design for Silent Hill. Composers no audio, so developers defer to them. So this is sort of a damage up. Not really. In Flash Isaac, technology was a fantastic upgrade. And that's about the last time technology was a fantastic upgrade. I think I still need to find the shop. Yeah, there it is. Glad I found it so quickly. Car battery probably does nothing for this item. The Empress will be good someday. It's the only damage up I found this whole run so far. As I head to the boss of the main game. So I have to use it. It's literally all I got. At least it's normal mom instead of one of the variants. The red variant is actually pretty manageable, like more so than this normal version. And then the blue variant is unplayable. Absolute nightmare. Even if you're a super overpowered build, you're gonna have a rough time with the blue variant, because it's just invincible for the entire fight. I hate when I get that thing. Lost my web heart, so devil deals are gonna be unattractive. Okay. They're both good. I'll take them both. It's a bit risky, but it might still save this run. It's my first real damage up. Like permanent, actual effective damage. It's still Brimstone in its extremely nerfed state. But it is a lot better than what I had. And it's laser Brimstone on top of that, which I think is just a visual effect. Range does literally nothing at this point. I'm surprised I don't have Leviathan. Come on. Bombs launching each other into me. Now I have enough damage to poison hosts to death. So I don't even have to wait for the host to open up. You don't know how bad this run is going, because my health bar is hidden. I think I'm currently at 1/2 heart. So if anything goes wrong, it's all over. But at the moment, I do have Brimstone. It is possible to go many, many rooms without anything going wrong. And actually, I have 1.5 hearts available because I just used my Satanic Bible. Oh, God. I always miss these spiked rocks. They look way too similar to regular rocks. So there goes all of my extra HP. I'm actually surprised I'm not dead. Okay. I'm gonna get one more charge here. In this nice, easy room. Replace all my hearts. There we go. I, as mentioned before, have a physical copy of the Satanic Bible. It is just as garbage as you've heard. I mean, it was written in the 70s, and it does have a passage about asexuality. It's about as negative a portrayal as you could expect. So, fuck you for that too, Anton LaVey. But it does prove that asexuality was present and in the zeitgeist and things people were talking about like 50 years ago. People will still act like it's a new trend. Certainly not. That might make it, yes, slightly more likely for the devil to appear. I kind of don't want the devil to appear, because I don't know how many hearts I have, and I'm pretty sure it's not enough for a deal. So if I see a good item, it'll just be taunting me. And it will also reduce the odds of devil rooms appearing on the next floor. The fallen started the room already charging at me. There we go. That's a fantastic item that I cannot afford. So, I got a devil deal, simply because I hold the Satanic Bible. I don't think I can afford it. Even if I grind up another heart, I think I'll still be one short. Oh, look at this. A spider beggar. Something I just unlocked. It's actually adorable. Like the art. Compare the spider beggar's art to the devil beggar. Spider beggar looks way, way, way better. Look at how cute. Ooh. That just got me my devil deal. And a spider bot. I'm not going to get the spider bot, but that is a pretty good item. They changed Dark Beggars, so if I blow it up, I will 100% guaranteed get 2 red spiders. It is, as of the most recent patch, completely impossible to get anything beneficial out of a spider beggar. Or a dark beggar. All you get is an increased chance of finding angel rooms. That is the one benefit of killing dark beggars. There we go. There's the sin heart I was looking for. Oh, God. Well, I'm taking the deal anyway. Pretty sure it won't kill me. Didn't kill me. Which means it's gonna make this run much, much stronger. Yeah, it wasn't even close to killing me, actually. I guess I used my Satanic Bible more frequently than I remembered. Now I'm close to max health. Excellent. This could still turn on a dime, but this run is actually going pretty fantastic now. As of this moment. Famous last words.
Shot speed down.
I just needed chat to show back up. And immediately, my luck turned around. It was already starting to turn around when I got Brimstone. But it's much better now. This is going to be a bloodbath. Lusty Blood is going to proc so many times. Get my damage up to 14. That's my current max damage. But any damage up I get will effectively be doubled. Now I can go in here pretty much for free. Because I have max health, so nothing to lose, really. I'll replace that heart in a couple of rooms. And Cambion Conception procced. Now I have a leech. We've gone from leech enemies to leech friends over the course of this stream. Two leech friends? Oh, that's right, the twins. One of those is a ghost twin. Any follower I have can turn into a second follower, if I'm lucky. Oh, Lusty Blood. So Bloody Lust is an item every time you take damage, you gain additional points to your damage stat. Lusty Blood is anytime you kill an enemy, you gain points to your damage stat. For the remainder of the room, though. So it resets at the end of each room, but for the duration of that room, anytime you get a kill, you become considerably stronger. up to double your current damage. Which is really, really good. It's in the devil item pool. And normally it costs 2 red hearts, indicating that it is a top tier item in the devil pool. And I would say it is properly weighted, because it is legitimately that good. Yeah, like, turns you into Samson in the middle of each room. But also you don't lose hearts in the process, you just gain the damage. So it does nothing until you start killing. But you're gonna do that killing anyway. This is unfortunately useless to me. If I sacrificed a lot of hearts there, there's a chance it would give me the "You Feel Blessed" message, which would guarantee an angel room, even though I have taken multiple devil deals so far. It could theoretically have absolved me of sin. But it probably would not have, and it probably would have taken my entire health bar instead. And done simply nothing. Ah, careful. I don't like this pattern because you can't, like, retaliate during it. Might as well take this. Oh, I still have the car battery. That's why I have so many hearts. That's why I had literally twice as many hearts as I remembered. I picked up the car battery like 5 floors ago. And then I forgot about it because the use item I had at the time wasn't affected by the car battery. But this entire time, every time I've used the Satanic Bible, I've gotten 2 black hearts back. And that's why, after I took the devil deal, I had 3 black hearts left over. Even though I thought it was going to kill me. Because it should have killed me. But I was getting twice as many hearts as I thought, so I had 3 hearts left over. If not for the car battery, I would have had exactly 3 hearts. And the Lusty Blood deal would have killed me. That's disturbing in retrospect, how close I came to killing myself. I almost didn't buy the car battery, because I hadn't seen a single use item up to that point, which would have benefited from it. But I ended up getting one.
Invested?
I wouldn't mind getting this run a little bit stronger, but it should have no problem getting through to the lamb. And if we're impossibly lucky, we can even go all the way down to delirium. Probably get through that, no problem. The odds of that happening are extremely low, though. Delirium is a 50% chance of spawning on Mega Satan, and like 38% chance on the lamb. Pretty low, whatever it is. No hints as to where the boss is going to be. That was the least likely path, so I don't know why I pursued it. And I got distracted on my way out. Ran right into a flame. I think I have plenty of black hearts to spare. This is a horrible card that I'm going to drop immediately. If I use that accidentally, I'm dead. It just spawns unlimited mom's foots to come down and stomp you, and they stomp on the exact area where you are. It's possible to dodge them, but very difficult. And it persists for the remainder of the floor and into the next floor. And then she finally gives up after a while. But it lasts a really, really long time. I just wish I had not even unlocked that card. It's very bad. It's when you unlock, and then you find it in a run, and out of pure curiosity, you test it out. Then that run is over, and you never use it again. Well worth the extremely difficult process of beating greedier mode with one of the tainted characters. Unfortunately, Arachna's gimmick is just unusable after a certain point in the game, and we are well past that point. So the spool's not going to help us. Empty vessels, rendering me invincible for this fairly difficult phase of the fight. On to the fairly easy phase. We can see how poor my damage is. But even still, we got this. Now I get a bunch of devil deals. Hopefully they're good. Didn't get the curse of not being able to tell what they're gonna be. Okay. Dead Cat unfortunately would set me back down to 1 heart. And then 9 lives, but not worth the cost. There we go. Replace those. And go on the hunt. Little Horn paying off. Yeah, that recent speedrun of Super Meat Boy that I watched reminded me that Little Horn is a character in Super Meat Boy. For some reason, Little Horn is the name of the demon boss at the end of Hell, which is laughably easy once you realize that there's a blind spot in all of his attacks, so that you only have to jump 3 times. Once you find that spot, the boss itself simply cannot harm you. Two fallen in a single room is pretty rough. Especially such a small room. That should only appear in a double-sized room, I think. There we go. Little Horn grabs and kills the guy who has way too much HP. Anything luck-based is super lucky to go off because my Brimstone hits like, 10 times. Probably even more than that. So every percentage chance it has to go off rolls that die over and over and over again. Stud Finder. Perfect time to get that. Ground below feels hollow. I highly doubt that here on the final floor of the game. Although there is, somewhere around here, a hidden crawl space. I'm probably not going to find it, but it probably does exist. There's at least a percentage chance that it exists. Here's the demon enemy whose name I don't know. I know after it dies, there's a new variant of it called the Adversary. But the original not killed version, I forget the name of it. Brownie doesn't stand a chance, which is a good sign.
2 of clubs.
That's useful. The Magician card there. Makes it easier to land hits. It's already pretty easy to land hits. But it doesn't hurt to have. Invincible. That's always great. I don't normally see the Empty Vessel proc this frequently. Dark One sounds familiar. I think that demon, before it's killed, is called the Dark One. Thank you for that reminder. It always looks like the secret room opened up when I blast one of these walls, because it does get a black, well, like door-shaped smear on it. But that's just the nature of these walls. Gotta be a secret room around here somewhere. In fact, there's gotta be 2. I'm not finding either. I'm gonna keep grinding because we're a little on the weak side for the lamb. Hate to have this run die to impatience. I'd rather have it die to lack of skill. Which is not impossible. If my black hearts go much lower, I'm just gonna get the dead cat for safety. They're pretty damn low. Yeah, let's buy the dead cat. Die instantly, but that's fine. Plenty of lives to spare. Now we've lost nothing. Got a little bit of wiggle room. I bombed everywhere where the secret room could theoretically be. Haven't found it. That's very useful. Oh, free chest in there. Actually, the first chest I found on this floor. Could have got a bunch of items if I were a little luckier, but no. Not until that very moment. As he spawns more minions, it makes me more powerful, thanks to Lusty Blood. So there we go. Now I have 8 chances to kill this boss. It's not actually a very hard boss. So we probably got this. I cannot believe that I can't find this secret room. Where are these secret rooms? Could be there. There. Clearly already bombed that spot. Super weird. I don't even know where they could be. Now I can deal damage from any angle, which is not always the case against this boss. Also, when it splits in the second phase, I'll be able to deal double damage, I think. Yes, give me more red flies, so I can get Lusty Blood. Okay, now I'm invincible, so yeah, that's a guaranteed win. Yes! We get to go to Delirium. So that's the victory we've been trying to get for quite a while. And we might have a big one on our hands. In fact, we're pretty likely to get through Delirium because we have 8 lives. And a unlimited heart spawner. Now I think anytime we defeat one of the bosses that isn't Delirium, it will drop a devil deal. Which unfortunately we probably won't be able to afford. Chad is a boss from Super Meat Boy, of course. That one I've never forgotten. Even as all the other Super Meat Boy references have slipped my mind. Yo, our damage is very, very high. Could stand to be way higher, though. I desperately need to increase my base damage. Because it's effectively doubled by Lusty Blood. Not so much during the Delirium fight, though. Lusty Blood is not going to help me very much against Delirium. I need more. Should get Devil Room items from the pool at the end of each fight. So that's not nothing. They have a higher chance of being damage up. Is the main thing I need. Seeing like only champion enemies so far. Normally I would keep a bad gas pill. Try to use it, and then it always goes to waste. It's not a good pill. But it seems like it would be situationally useful. In practice, not so much. More luck up. That means more Little Horn attacks. One of these could be Delirium. I'll grind up one more use of the Satanic Bible and then check. It probably won't be Delirium, though, because Delirium is usually the furthest boss from the entrance. Relatively speaking, so it's probably one of these two, or it could be one off a completely different direction. It's definitely not this one. You can tell just based from the floor structure that it could not be this one. Gish is a game I've never played. Yeah, Delirium is a combination of every floor in the game. And sometimes the screen will get all staticky while you're on this floor. And the look of the floor is like, the textures on the walls, those will randomly change to a different floor. Which is a bit of a technical marvel that they've got them all loaded in at all times. Best to make that possible. The floor is called something else, and I forget what it is. Delirium is definitely the boss. I can actually look it up. The Void. We are in the Void. Blood bombs do nothing for me. They did give me a web heart, so that's not nothing. This might be Delirium here. It is not. We've gone the wrong direction. But we got a bunch of items along the way. And a bunch of satanic Bible charges. I'm used to spending forever here in the floor that I now know to be called the Void. Having 2 dark bums, or in this case 3 dark bums, is actually pretty bad. Because they will compete over hearts. And each of them has to have 3 half hearts consumed in order to pay up with anything. So there's no benefit, and it's possible that you'll waste a lot of half hearts that spawn. Sure, surround myself with a halo of flies. And this is one potential way to go. It's nothing. Dead end. Delirium is somewhere up that path that I didn't even notice. Right up this way. Didn't even spot this exit last time I was here. This whole Delirium boss fight, I think, was added in Afterbirth Plus, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely before Repentance. I don't remember how much longer before Repentance it was, though. Could have been 1 update, could have been 2. Definitely wasn't in the base game. Afterbirth Plus remains the worst DLC that this game has ever had. That's a lot of web hearts. Yeah, if you've only played Rebirth, then the game ends on, like, I think only Satan, or the Lamb / Blue Baby. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the path that heads to the Lamb was added in Rebirth. Not one of the patches. In Flash Isaac, Blue Baby was the final boss, and if you decided to go the Sheol route, the run would end after Satan, and you'd never get to go to the Dark Room. So you'd be kind of ripped off if you chose that way. You would inherently achieve less completion if you chose the negative. And you wouldn't get the powerful benefit of the Polaroid. Rosary Bead, totally useless at this point. Increases the chance that an Angel Room will spawn at the end of a floor. That's right. I think Mega Satan might only appear in certain versions of Isaac Rebirth. I know it appears in the console version I have on the Wii U. But I think it was added in a patch after the release of the base game, such that PC versions of Isaac Rebirth did not have access to Mega Satan. And I could be absolutely dead wrong there. There we go. There's the big guy. Immediately spawning ads so that I can get some lusty blood going. Appreciate that, Delirium. Making it easier to kill ya. It might still kill me, because this boss is ridiculous. If you've never seen it, this is the most absurd boss in the game. It is completely random whether or not you get through, no matter how powerful you are. You could come in with a ridiculously powerful character, have all the HP in the world, still walk out of the place dead, having never really had an opportunity to deal much damage. I've also had one damageless run against this boss. One time ever. Noted because it's just such an improbable thing to have occur that I will never forget that it did occur one time. Just for me. Game decided I had played it enough times to see that one time. And of course I was not recording it. Naturally. I only record disastrous runs. That's what the people want to see. The run we're on is going well, but as I say that, the boss goes much, much faster. It starts dealing way more damage, so... Lucky black heart drop in the corner. One of the skulls got broken open. Randomly dropped a black heart for me. So I'm still near full health. Still dealing plenty of damage. We probably got this, but again, the boss can just decide to win. It can teleport endlessly, never allow me to deal any damage, while teleporting directly on the spot that I'm standing. But I do keep going invincible thanks to the empty vessels, so that should greatly increase our longevity. Seems pretty inevitable that we got this. But if we do die, that'll be super embarrassing because then we'll still have 8 lives left. And there will be no chance of getting past the boss at that point. So we'll just be standing outside the door at a stalemate. Much like the way the slug cat found itself at the end of my Rain World session. We got a mutagen. A TMNT reference. Wonder what that does. We might never see the item, unfortunately, because the item pool is so vast. It's so hard to find one specific item, but there we go. 2 more big benchmarks completed with Arachna. We still have Mega Satan and Hush, and Mother and the Beast. And I think that's it. Like, we've done the Lamb, we've done Blue Baby, we've done the boss rush. And greedier mode, of course, needs to be done. But otherwise, the majority of Arachna has been completed. And a huge percentage of Tainted Arachna. We will keep grinding through this as well next week. But that has been the most successful run I've showed off so far. Most of my Arachna streams have been catastrophic. Luckily, this one turned around and went super well for me. We got to see, like, the way Brimstone used to be, sort of. It actually used to be much, much more powerful, but it's still plenty powerful when you have tons of upgrades on it. And double damage, thanks to Lusty Blood. So there we go. I think Friday is the only time I'm streaming Rain World and Binding of Arachna again next week. But we'll see. Tune in as usual for Twisted Metal and a PS2 game with Static, because Static, I have confirmation, did survive his doctor's visit. Thankfully. So he will make his triumphant return next week as well. See you then. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me as always, and have a good evening as always.